Over the last couple weeks, I've been having great conversations with different entrepreneurs, freelancers, business owners, even with my amazing co-host for another podcast that we have. And having conversations, it definitely helps you get everything out in the open and figuring out what it is that you want to do. So over the last 5 years, that's how long I've been freelancing in my business, and it's been nothing but short of greatness. And it all comes with challenges. We all face challenges in this journey. And over the last couple weeks, honestly, I've been kind of stuck and wasn't entirely sure if there was something I was missing, anything like that. And I had to really step back and figure out what is it that I actually enjoy? Who are my ideal clients? Who do I enjoy working with? And when I started my business, my first client was in the podcast industry. And to this day, I am still with her. And it's been great. I have learned so much. And that's why I had started another podcast with my co-host, and again, learning about all the ins and outs of the podcast industry. And that's what dawned on me. I'm like, this is it. We have to figure out what it is that we enjoy to get our message out there and the services that we offer. So this is why I'm going to start talking more about podcasting, and more so on the operations side of it, because with the conversations that I've had, people are like, the operations, what does that even mean? So we often talk about the tech side of things, writing the show notes, the content creation, all of that goes into creating the show. But more often than not, we don't really talk about what goes on behind the scenes, the operations, the team, building that team and growing and managing that team. What does that even look like? So this is what I'm pivoting to in podcast operations. And I'm really excited about this because, again, it's not talked about often. When you search, it's all about the creation process, the growth of your show. There's coaches that teach you growth. There are editors that help you edit your show, and the writers that write the show notes and the blog posts and all the things. And then you've got the guest booking, which the guest booking we can touch on, but that includes operations too. But what I'm getting at is that if you have been around, I talk about people first leadership and humanizing the workplace. And I want to make sure that this is happening in the podcast space, because if you're a podcast host that has a business, then you're probably thinking, how would this work with my business? Because now you want to build a team, you want to grow your team. So now you have to think about your podcast as well. And then when we think about like the podcast, like companies, the agencies that have multiple clients, how are you managing all of that? And I am so excited to talk about this more. And I want to educate others on what this looks like from behind the scenes. Think about a movie. Like, what goes into all of that, the creation of a movie? You got so many people that run the production of a movie just so that you can go to the movie theaters and watch an hour and a half of a movie. But do you realize what goes into that, from the process of the idea to the final product? This is the same thing when it comes to podcasting, because you're creating a show, you're creating this journey for somebody to listen to. And working behind the scenes, sometimes I'm like, yeah, this is like a movie set. We get to pretend that we are on a movie set, but we are getting people's voices out there. People are making impact with the message that they are sharing. And working behind the scenes on that is so amazing. So when I talked earlier about how I've been with my clients since the beginning from her podcast management company, and I do all the behind the scenes, the business management, the operations, managing the team, making sure that everybody has everything they need to get the show's out because it goes from the person records, you have to create, the social media, the blog posts, the show notes, all of those things. And I'm the one delegating it all out and making sure that everybody has all the files that they need and all the resources that they need to make sure that this episode is getting out when it needs to get out, and so that the clients are happy because they are able to step back and just press record, and then we work the magic. We work behind the scenes, making sure that this production is on point. So if you are ready to learn more about podcast operations and still with the message of humanizing the workplace, subscribe, follow along, have a conversation with me. All of my information is going to be in the show notes. So there's different ways that you can connect with me if you have any questions. And I'm really, really excited for this journey because that was a light bulb moment that I needed to get this out there. So yeah, so I'll talk to you soon.